of you who don't know me, a little bit of my history. I came from a fairly deprived area of Wolverhampton. I lived in a house with, my total family was 9 in terms of brothers and sisters. My dad was busy. In fact, crazily, there's 5 years difference between the younger part of the family and the older part of the family, which was my dad going off to war and also going off to do the Navy. I never quite got out of him why, but still. We'd never been out of Wolverhampton as kids. Wolverhampton was it. We probably got on our bikes and went to Bridge North, and that was probably it.
Were you on a bike?
It might have been a younger brother. Anyhow, the WRBS were offering places at a camp for kids who wanted to go away. I decided I wanted to do it because I thought it was a good idea. My younger brother Shay, he did it a couple of years on. And also my surrogate brother Nick, he did it as well. And I was pretty much like probably Scrib. I was terrified. You know, people kept saying there were things that produce milk. And I said, well, that's Dilly's, that's the dairy. And then somebody suddenly pointed out these things called cows, which was unbelievable. And there were proper trees, you know, and things like this. And grass and hills and everything. And most of us had never seen that before. So we came to camp. And we met Skip. And Skip very quickly made sure that everybody who attended that camp felt happy and safe, and very quickly you forgot everything about wanting to go home, and you didn't want to go home, you just wanted to stay forever, because that's what the camp did to you. My tent leader on my first camp was Mick, and Mick never fails to stop telling me that he was my tent leader, and it's lovely, it really is, thanks Mick. Tent 2. And we went on, I went on, when camp was over and I was getting too old to come to camp, pretty much like Alan, the two of us, I wanted to come to carry on helping out, and so came back as a tent leader. Then disappeared off and did my own thing. Spent a lot of time abroad, police never got me. But did about 40 years in the health service doing anaesthetics, and also travelled a lot abroad with a medical company I went with, and now spend most of my time since I retired hosting and raising money for charities. To date, probably about 8.7 million. And as far as I'm concerned, none of that would have happened except for one man who gave me the guidance and the instinct to do something different, because lots of my mates were going off being, you know, rogues and doing everything else that you people do. But I think we all, and everybody who's here, and certainly everybody who's in the camp, is there because of Bill. You know, because we've probably gone in different ways if it wasn't for Bill, and I don't know that. You know, nobody knows that. So to tell you a little bit about Bill and his history with Bill, and to give you a little bit about his history and why he took over running the camp and was eventually awarded the, what's that cabbage there? Oh, sorry, the Can you put your hands together and welcome Skipper and Bosun at one time? Alan Scribner, or Scribbo as we know him.
You forgot to say something.
Oh God, go on, Mick.
When he was young, he was quiet. Now he's different.
A bit like you, Mick.
Unaccustomed as I am to making speeches.
Look where you are.
Don't need can you all hear me?
So like, don't worry.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, good evening, Mark.
Thank you. Yeah. Good day, everyone. I'm going to read from my speech notes. So,
Oh, do you want to just turn the kettle off, please?
remind me when you're time performing to come and disturb you.
Thank you for your patience.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thank you. Are we all sitting comfortably? First of all, I'd like, as Ian said, to welcome everyone and thank you so much for coming and supporting us today. It's been a long journey. A journey we wondered whether we could ever complete. Thankfully we did. So my belief is it was meant to happen, and it's happened. So good day, everyone. I first met the gentleman we are gathered here today to honour back in 1965. Ian, myself, and about 50 or so other lads, including Lenny, who's with us today, have been selected to join him on a very basic camping holiday just down the lane in the field opposite Newton Batch. I was going to say I can't speak for him, but I can now because he's already told us. He was initially terrified of the place, as was I. I've never been away from my mother. I was a little mama's boy, I was. I don't want to tell you. I thought the world of her. God bless her soul. But she sent me to that bloody camp. Yeah. After a couple of days, however, like everyone else, I grew to love it. And to love Bill too. He became, as the years rolled on, a father figure. We spent lots of time together throughout the years. And so that's how I saw him, the dad I never had. In 1958, a small group of lads camped out in the rear garden of Bill's police house in Winstonstown. The Women's Voluntary Service, as it was then, agreed to sponsor the group, and its involvement continued right through to 1997, when the very last camp on this site was held in the format Bill created it for. That's important to say. We've got Kim with us. Kim and Gordon, to be honest, was members of the WRVS, as it later became, and Kim was responsible for bringing the Shropshire lads selection, bringing them in, making sure they had everything, and coming to collect them. Still, I think Kim is still in a little way connected to the WRVS. But I think once you get involved with something like that, you never really leave. It's like policemen, they're never off duty. I won't repeat what he's just masked. Bill and his team of voluntary helpers, which included people in this room, helped the camp to improve and prosper. And in the early 70s, charity status was achieved. It was at this time that Bill gave the camp its new and official name, the LONGMYND, one word, Adventure Camp. I would add at this point that this charity was just one of many that Bill had either set up, improved, or simply given his precious time to, as and when his police duties allowed. To mention one or two, if I may, Bridge North Rowing Club, which is still going, or rowing, today. Winstonstow Youth Club, and its involvement with the camp, which Mick Powell will maybe speak to you about later. Mick was a member of the club and a member of Bill's voluntary staff at camp when Ian and I were boys. Saying that though, Mick was only 16. Pete Roberts, another of Bill's helpers, was a young policeman who in 1967 was my tent leader. We were in tent 3, next flap.
It's conned into it.
Next flap.
It's conned into it.
We were in the next flap to Mike in tent 2. Unfortunately, it wasn't all sunshine and roses, however, because in 1973 Bill was, due to health problems, forced to retire from the police force in the rank of sergeant after 25 years service. He did, however, go on to start his own security business, which became, after much hard work, a great success. This site was purchased in 1979, year of the child, incidentally. And our first camp here took place the following year, when I became Bill's official second in command, bosun to the skipper, after 12 years as a tent leader. During that time, Ian also served as a staff member. 1983 saw the camp's silver anniversary, and we celebrated here at camp with a visit from the Mayor, amongst other dignitaries, including Mrs. Robin Hazelby and Mrs. Marjorie Lade, the WRVS Chief Children's Holiday Organisers for Shropshire and Wolverhampton and West Midlands, respectively. Bill was awarded the British Empire Medal for his various charity work. We all thought, and still do to this day, that he should have been knighted. During that same decade, he also managed to get mains electricity and a running water supply to this site, as well as 2 donations from children in need. One donation brought us a new kitchen, and the second one paid for cabin 3. The local Rotary Club and Church Stretton Round Table also became regular supporters of Bill's rapidly growing charity. Bill Williams passed away on the 14th of October 2013, aged 87. His wife Hetty, without whose loyal support, he wouldn't have been able to do as much as he did for others, and that's a fact. They passed away in 1996. Their daughters, Anne and Debbie, both stalwarts of the camp, supporters throughout, in their own right, have kindly accepted our invitation to unveil the bust today. Our group, which is called Minted Memories, was formed in 2017 to honour the camp's 60th anniversary the following year. Lasting tribute to Bill, so we set about raising the funds necessary to bring this plan to fruition. We then had to find someone to do the honours of carving or sculpting the bust. Initially, Anne found Gemma, who readily agreed to do it. Gemma was from Clun, and she invited us out to her place, her study at Clun, and it was very nice, and there were lots and lots of examples of her work. But unfortunately, Gemma had to pull out due to her husband's health situation. So it was back to the drawing board, all scratching her heads, where can we go from here? Annie wasted no time, however. She approached her friend, Mike Painter, who suggested she commission Judith, who is with us today. If she was up for it, we would approach her and ask her to do it. She was up for it, thankfully, and Judith readily accepted the challenge. Here we are today. Thank you, Judith. Now, before Ian calls time on my motor mouth, may I just echo his words of welcome to you all and offer as chair of our committee and on behalf of all our members and friends, our most sincere and grateful thanks to everyone, every last one of you who has in whatever way, over the years, been a part of this fantastic 67-year ride. You'll never know the depth of our gratitude to you all. God bless. Before I finish, I would like to touch on John. John and I were friends for 60 years. I first met him, he was the butcher's boy in the shop next to my shop where I was a paper boy. John was a little bit older than me, and he'd already been to camp. I'd never been when we met for the first time. And so it was a surprise to see him on the coach in 1965. My brother Billy, who had been in 64, knew him well. But me and John had only just become friends. We stayed friends, best friends, until the day he died. So a big shout out to John.
Yeah. Good, John. Come on.
The group were invited by Judith to visit her studio in Stratford-upon-Avon. In fact, I think they went twice, and both occasions I couldn't manage it. But they came back full of beans, saying very impressed with Judith's work, and we asked her to get to work on it immediately, which she did. I forget how long now it's all taken, but I just want to say that this group has stuck together through thick and thin. We've had our tears, we've had our laughter, we've had our meals together, which everybody in this room has participated, I'm sure. Just looking for somebody who might not have, perhaps Richard. But everyone else we've all met up at the Ragleth and elsewhere to enjoy a meal together, to hold committee meetings, and we've all thoroughly enjoyed it, I'm sure we have. So it brings us now to where we are. And I think maybe that this will probably be the last time we're ever here, because we've done what we set out to do. So thank you all very, very much for everything. I'd like now Ian to come and carry on with his presentation. Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask if I may now, Debbie and Anne, I need to come up if you would. And this is that point where if you've got cameras, you need to move a little closer if you would, please. I'm going to move this over to one side so it's out of the way. There. Right. You just got caught in the tracks. There. I think it's always traditional with something like this. Judith has not seen this in position, so this is going to be a first for Judith as well. So, Pete, get out of the way of the camera. Right. Can you just move that way a bit? Because I don't know whether you're in the way. Right. So I think we'll do a countdown if we may. Yeah? So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Now, as well as that, we're going to have a plaque here. We've got a plaque which says William Frederick Bill Williams, B.E.M, 1926 to 2013, founder and skipper of Black, and that will go on the wall like that. Obviously, a lot of the children who are coming here will not be aware of who Bill was, and but we're going to stop this, do that. I've done an audio narration of Bill and about Bill. And a little scan QR code, so if when you come up you want to scan the QR code, I'm going to stick that on the wall as well. I'm going to try, I don't know how successful this is going to be, I'm going to try and push it through my little Bluetooth speaker so you can listen to it as well. Now Annie doesn't want to say a word. Do you want to? Hang on, if I do this, come here. If I do this, how's that? Is that alright?
You are, go on, just talk a bit closer.
I was very lucky to have my Bill as my father. I couldn't have wished for a better one. I love this minute, but I still do. But I was very proud of him. Every little thing he did for a good reason. And I think the people that are here saw the side I saw. And I will agree with me that we had a lovely childhood. And I wouldn't have wished it any other way. And both parents, Mum as well, they were lovely. And you all knew them, most of them, both of them I think. And one couldn't have done it without the other. And I'm very proud that this has gone on and we've done this. And as we said in leading up to this, he should have got a knighthood. But we know that he deserves better than what he got.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for coming.
Right, I think what we need now is some fizz to celebrate that and do that. But before we do, one of the things I'd like to do is, Judith, you spent probably more time looking at Bill over the last few years than most of us did for a very long time. And I know how challenging it was because you were doing it from multiple photographs, showing him in all sorts of different light. But one of the things that we'd like to do, and we'd like to do as a committee, is give you a copy of Bill's book, signed by Alan, so you can then tie that with it. Give it up for Judith, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much for trusting me with this. And it has been really enriching. I know I never met him, but I do feel like I've, seen through you what an amazing man he clearly was in this beautiful, beautiful place to create these memories that you all share and build together. I've been so impressed by it, and it's lovely to have got to know him that way, and now I'll enjoy reading Alan's book as well. Thank you.